game was simple. We created an awesome game. Mission accomplished. Great job with that. The aspects of this awesome game that we tried to incorporate. We wanted to be really fun, really simple game, like not something super complicated, because simple ones are easy to learn how to play. And an element of addictiveness, because that's what rates in customers. And because Kelsey really likes chipmunks, we chipmunks. Yeah, that was not my idea.
Features for this game, we used an accelerometer, which means basically when you tilt the phone or like move it in a certain way, the chipmunk will move it in the direction that you want it to. And we included increasing the difficulty. So over time, gradually there will be more tree stumps to dodge, and it will get faster and harder for you to move. We incorporated a life tracker, so you only have 10 lives, so when you hit a tree stump, you will lose a life. And we incorporated a score tracker, so every time you would get an acorn, you would gain 10 points. And we added music and sound effects for every time you would get an acorn or when you would hit a tree stump.
So Kelsey kind of covered a lot of how to play use, but like she said, you use the accelerometer to make the chipmunk move left or right. The x-axis on the accelerometer is inverted, so we had to multiply it by -1 so that it would actually move to the left when you tilted the phone to the left. And the goal is to avoid hitting tree stumps that are coming towards you. Actually, it's supposed to look like you're running towards them, but that would have been complicated to code with screen scrolling and everything, so we just took the easy way out. And collect as many acorns as you possibly could. And you have only 10 lives, and every time you run into one of the tree stumps, you lose a life, and it makes a little noise indicating that you just lost a life. Shame on you. And once you are completely down to 0 lives, sort of the game ends and score resets, and you can go back to the main screen.
Sample code. This was probably the hardest trouble we had with the game, and it was with coding, and it's the collision code. So initially, we have 6 sprites for each different tree stumps. And when we did this code, we thought that we could, when the chipmunk would collide with the tree stumps, we could code it so that it would collide with each component, but we figured out later on that you can only code for one component. So once we figured that out, we made all the logs equal to that one component, and from there we were able to progress, and it was easier to code. It also shows with the if statements, it says if the chipmunk, if it collides with the log, you would lose a life. And if you collide with an acorn, you would gain 10 points.
Very repetitive code, yes, but it worked, so that was the big thing. Right, next slide. And this is the video demonstration of a fabulous game. Cute chipmunk right there. I am very good at this game.
Oh my god, he's died. Still alive.
Really hard to control.
So basically, the longer you play, there will be more symptoms really odd.
See, I didn't want the video to run too long. I mean, I could have gone on forever, because I'm just like, for the sake of time and demonstration, I want to be quick and show what happens when you run out of lives. That's a little power down music when the game is over. Challenges. Okay, so biggest challenge was actually just coming up with an idea at first. We spent the entire first day like, should we do a whack-a-mole game? Should we do a destroyers game? We went through basically every classic arcade concept that exists, and then we finally settled on essentially a duplicate of about 10,000 different apps on the App Store. But it works. The collision codes, like we said, those were a bit of a challenge. It took us like half an hour of messing around to figure out how to make it so that every time the chipmunk ran into a stump or an acorn, it lost a life or gained 10 points. And another big deal was to actually have the stumps and acorns regenerate as the game progressed. We initially had it so that when a stump reached the bottom of the screen, or an acorn, it would reset back up to the top of the screen at a randomly placed location on the x-axis. But that turned out to be, in some cases, overwhelming, and in some cases underwhelming. Like at the beginning of the game, there was no challenge at all, and as the game progressed, it became almost impossible. So what we did was, we had it set so that it would regenerate to the X position of the chipmunk. So the log would start coming down where the chipmunk was, and then you can move out of the way to dodge it. But that turned out to be a much more effective and interesting challenge for the game. Alright, Kelsey, next slide.
What we could have done differently if we had more time. Basically, we originally had background music, but then there was like a lot of glitches, so every time the song would end, it was 30 seconds, and we wanted it to repeat, but then once it repeated, it had waited like 10, 5, 6 seconds before it would replay again, so if we had more time, we would have fixed that. And the other like glitches, and we would add more features as well, like move forward and backwards as well, on top of moving left and right.
All of these features will be available in version 1.1. The app is currently on the Google Play Store for the low, low price of $19.99. I trust you will all go out and download it. Thank you very much for watching this presentation, and have fun with Acorn.